So yeah, looking at dollar index price action for today, you can see that
The
I think I'm
screen, where is the screen?
I think I'm gonna mute people
Yes,
because
it's
there's
great.
no order here. Right. Looking at today's price action, uh, we can see that weakness came back into dollar index, but not by much, right? Since we had Friday closing without a week to the downside, we were expecting price to push all the way to 90.80, but that didn't happen yet. It just pushed a bit and then retraced to the upside and then pushed down a bit. So if you are to look at this price action, let me highlight which area I'm talking about. This guy, that candle has shown us willingness to trade to the downside because it traded below Friday's low. If we were gonna go to the upside, this week was supposed to be a bit up here, but that didn't happen. So our entry point on dollar index hasn't changed. We're still looking for price to trade to 90.80 or all the way to this daily bullish order block down here. You see, these are your entry points for strength to come back into dollar index. As it is right now, it will it might look to trade lower to the downside. Dollar index is gonna trade lower, but not that quickly. If it drops, it's not gonna stay long at that lower price. It's gonna push up. Reason because of these old highs, and we are trading at an area which is now turned into a demand zone, an old supply level that is now turned into a demand zone. So expect whoever bought in this impulsive move here, in this price action candle, whoever bought in here, expect them to hold price when it trades lower. So what normally you should look at, you wouldn't want price to trade lower than you wouldn't want price to trade lower than, let me see 50% lower than 90.60. You don't want to see price trading lower than 90.60. That price is crucial for long entries on dollar index. Yes, there's no reason for you not to short dollar. You can short dollar because we have filled the fair value gap to the upside, but the only downside to you shorting dollar is it can reverse at current price levels. Dollar index can reverse and turn bullish. So take note of London session tomorrow. London session, expect to have another leg lower to the downside. The low for London, come New York open, when we have a low formed between 10 a.m. and probably 1 p.m., the low that is going to be formed during that time is going to define whether dollar is going to find support and turn to the upside. The low for London is going to define whether dollar will find support and turn to the upside. Are we together?
Yes, boss.
Right. So take note because we are in a bullish weekly order flow. If we go back to dollar index weekly time frame, we are in a bullish weekly order flow. Price is moving to the upside. The fact that we closed above this old bearish order block here on the weekly chart defined our order flow. We are in a bearish uh, weekly bullish order flow. So expect the low of the week to be formed tomorrow or Wednesday. Expect the low of the week before we see price pushing to the upside. because the long-term target right now on dollar index is up here, looking at 92 up here. This is where dollar is heading. Yes, there's going to be reversal to the downside. There's going to be correction to the downside because price cannot just rally all the way. You can see what happened last week. Last week was a very strong bullish move to the upside before Friday, where we had that strong point there.
Yeah, no, the move to the upside is something that we knew was gonna happen. It's just that sometimes, when it offers you, like for instance today, that last candle, you see that last H4 candle. Oh, he's back.
Right, network is acting up on my side, guys. So just yeah. So
Hello.
I was saying, we need to take note of 90.80 on dollar index, but also take note when we are moving to the downside, we are not moving that much in a quick pace. During Monday's session, we didn't move that quick during Monday's session. So that's a sign that momentum to the downside might be dying down. You see, there's no more that strong momentum pushing price to the downside. So expect price to find support here, 90.80, which is an old high. It's an old high here during the weekly, on the weekly time frame, and we've got price imbalance here. So expect this level to at least provide support on dollar index. If it's a case that we breach 90.80 in this manner, like what happened here, if we breached 90.80 like that with a full bodied candle that closes way below, then look for price to trade all the way to 90.60. That's where you're going to find support. So take note of those two price points. It's not just a case of opening the chart and then say, oh no, I'm going to go short, I'm going to go long. Look at dollar index. Look if price is testing those two price points that I've mentioned, 90.80 and 90.60. So while dollar is trading to the downside, heading for those price points, look for Euro USD to trade higher and testing this bearish order block. 50% of this bearish order block is going to provide your shorting opportunities. And one other thing, guys, not every down close candle or every up close candle is a bearish order block or a bullish order block. Remember, not every down close candle or every up close candle is a bearish order block. If you have forgotten that, there is a video we did, that Zoom session where we defined order blocks. Go back to that video and watch clearly how you define your order block, because I've seen some, they're now just highlighting other up close or down close candles that are not even defined as order block. You are going to mislead yourself. So be careful there. Make sure the criteria for an order block is clearly defined. Not just every up close or every down close candle is a bearish or bullish order block. Make sure the criteria is defined. You need to see those three criteria that we mentioned when we did the definition of what is a bullish or what is a bearish order block. So yeah, that's I think that's pretty much about dollar index when it comes to Monday's trading session. Yeah, will see further moves to the downside, but momentum currently is dying down, especially if you go to lower time frames. You can see that momentum to the downside is dying down. So 90.80 and 90.60, those are your trigger points for dollar index and the rest of the pairs. Right. I don't know if there's anyone with questions, suggestions, and additions.
No, boss, it's crystal clear from my side.
You must ask. You must ask. You must ask. You must ask. GBP USD. We are trading into that monthly bearish order block. You can see how momentum is dying down on the weekly and on the monthly time frame. Momentum is dying as we are heading into that monthly bearish order block. So this high, the high for, when was this? That's 1 February. The high for 1 February, that was formed during London session. This high, there's buy stops above there, but don't expect it to be triggered that quickly, because you can see this candle, it didn't trade above here. So when you see price getting into this monthly bearish order block, look for weakness in terms of price action so that you can trade short on GBP USD. Same applies with Euro JPY. You've got the high that was formed on 29 January. The high above there, we've got buy stops. There's buy stops above this high. Expect price to spike through and trade lower because we are in this weekly bearish order block. There's a weekly bearish order block which price is respecting this guy, this up close candle here. Take note, I didn't define this as my bearish order block. I defined this guy. Reason being, the following candle defined that up close candle as the bearish order block. Same applies here. This is your clearly defined bearish order block because of this guy here. So expect price to trade lower on Euro JPY. So we need to see strength coming in on dollar index. We need to see strength coming in for these setups to pan out. If we don't see strength coming in on dollar index, then expect this pairs to rally to the upside, especially Euro JPY, Euro USD, GBP USD. They will rally to the upside and clear all those buy stops before market can turn to the upside. I don't know, is there any other pair that you want me to discuss the Monday's range?
Gold, say gold, 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 gold.
Be very careful with gold, Moja. Be very careful. Be very careful with gold. Yes, gold, I highlighted that because it can be interesting when people are making profits, but when it messes you up, it can mess you up big time. So we've got this up close candle here, but what's more important to take note, I talked about this in the mentorship video. What's more important, what's more significant is the wicks. Take note of the wicks in this range. That shows you that in this range here, price is bound to find what? Resistance. So when you look at up close candles, this is the only up close candle that you have prior to this drop to the downside. And if you look at the the opening of this up candle and the opening of this down candle, we had a gap between those two price action candles. That's a daily time frame. So whenever price comes into this up close candle, there's no reason for you to be not a short seller. You can be selling gold in this current range, but make sure your stop loss is way above here. That's a big stop loss range which you are going to be minimizing by trading less. That's like 500 pips. You see? So you're gonna have to enter that position with a mini or micro lot size. These wicks here, they signify that. And you can also see we've got the channel that was being respected for the past since August. We've got a channel. Yes, it was breached here, election results, I guess. But every time price came back, this channel here, price has found resistance. So take note that resistance trend line can offer good opportunities to trade to the downside on gold. Is that clear, Moja? Hello?
Yeah, I'm happy, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, but just be very careful with gold.
Moja and gold.
Yeah. Just be very. I don't know. Is there any other
One
pay
day
that
I'll drive a Ferrari, my brother, and I'll say it's gold.
is there any other pay that you want me to look at?
I know I'm extra careful, sir. Don't worry.
Who else is here? Who else is here? Who else is here? Not just Simba.
No, from my side, I'm good, sir.
Simba, do you have any other pay that you want me to look at? I don't know if
No, we have discussed all of them.
otherwise
You've discussed all of them, so I'm all good. Thank you.
Okay, let's see who's here. Eddie. Eddie, can you hear me?
Sorry, did you discuss USD card already?
USD CAD, we're hunting for longs in this pair. USD CAD will be hunting for longs, but from the 1.2700 price point, that's your entry point to the upside. Because as far as dollar is going to be dropping to the downside, expect USD CAD also to trade lower. But the 127 price point on USD CAD, the 127 price point in this bullish order block here. So you can be looking at, say, let's go. If you are not that much of a conservative person, you're looking at 127.15 as your entry to the upside in this price area here. This is where you should be hunting for long position, because as long as dollar is trading lower to 90.80 or 90.60, expect USD CAD to test 127 price point, 1.27 price point, because the sell stops below there. So you need to see weakness when we are heading into this area here. The reason why I'm saying 127, remember, it's reducing you're reducing your risk, because if you enter a long position at the current price action, right? If you enter a long position at the current price action, you are looking at a stop of about 70 pips. But if you enter a long position at 127, you're looking at a stop of just under 30 pips.
Okay.
You've minimized your what? Your risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who else is here? Who else is here? Dr. Katleko. Dr. Katleko, I don't know if you can hear me, because I see all of it on mute. Boss Eddie, can you hear me? Boss Eddie cannot hear me. Let's see who else.
Yes, I can hear you. I thought you are speaking to someone else.
Hey, you're too faint, bro.
I was speaking about me. Sorry. I was requesting NZD. Once check it. NZD JPY.
NZD JPY. Right. NZD JPY.
NZD JPY.
I think we've breached that. Let's go back to the analysis that we did a while ago.
You go to a D1.
Let's go to this here. Let's start from here. Right, we haven't breached that price point yet. Let's go to D1. Right, you see now, the fact that we have breached the 75.50 price zone, this area now, when price comes back, you have to look for longs. When price comes down here, you need to be looking for longs. Can you see that gap there on the daily? You see this imbalance here. That imbalance happened when price breached the 50% mean threshold of our monthly bearish order block, meaning price is broken and closed above, right? But now, remember, this could be a higher time frame
Yes.
stop hunt. Could be a higher
That's
time
why
frame
I
stop
was
hunt.
requesting.
So you need to see price coming back in here, and if there's no momentum that's pushing price to the
Yes.
downside, then this area is a good level to trade long. But now, if we get a strong dollar, NZDJPY is gonna lose big time. So expect price to trade higher. So this price action here, the one that's happening on NZDJPY this here,
Trade long.
the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days, that could be a manipulation at a higher time frame point. Could be manipulation, big manipulation, because this week, if we look at the close, probably the close of this week, it might drop and close below. Then price continues to the downside. This can only be guaranteed if we get a strong dollar. But if dollar keeps meandering around the 90.80 or 90.60, then expect NZDJPY to trade higher from that imbalance on daily time frame. This imbalance here, the one I've highlighted. So expect price to find support in this gray shaded area here.
Check out those 2 days.
Which 2 days?
They look equal. This all bullish, the bullish and the bearish candlestick, which are
That was Wednesday
look,
and Thursday of last week, right?
Yeah, they look equal. Then the range. Then after that, up. Can we say that the price ranged, and after that it break the range and went up? Can we say that, or?
Yeah, but if you look on a weekly, let's go to a weekly quickly. You see, if you look from a weekly time frame now, look at this price action here. Oh, sorry, here. You see those highs between 1, 2, and 3. You see those highs. Price has traded above those old highs. What lies on old highs? Buy stops. So let's see today's close on NZDJPY. And remember, NZDJPY is more liquid during the Asian and Aussie session. So let's see how it closes today before we can decide what to exactly do on NZDJPY, because this could be a change in market structure, but I'm pretty not sure about it. This is just a spike into to clear up all the orders that have built on these old highs, all the orders that have built up on these old highs before we can trade to the downside. Unless if dollar keeps on getting weaker, the more dollar gets weaker, then NZDJPY is going to trade all the way to this high here. Yeah. I don't know. Final question, because the time is running out now.
I'm cool.
You're cool like that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great trading week, and don't rush. Take your time.
Tindo, don't have a question today, my guy. wasting.
Much of them they outlined was all of them. Most of them just a carry on from last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You see, that's the other thing, guys. You just have to teach yourself. Make sure when you do your analysis, make sure you carry on forward with what you have decided. If it's a wrong analysis, you see that okay, no, this was wrong, this was not right. If it's the correct analysis, it's gonna carry you for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. Especially if you look at
Yeah,
if you look at this pair here, this ends at DJPY. We discussed this pair when it was still trading right around this area here. You see? And with all the market structures, all the order flow that we highlighted, I remember we were long from here on
Yes, that's correct.
yeah, we were long from this price area here all the way to this range. So you see that the moment you do your analysis and mark out all your order flow, then follow through. Don't change your mind during the day. You look at a 15-minute, you change your mind. Look at a 30-minute, you change your mind. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna go anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
I think so.
that's pretty much about it for today. I'm gonna record this. I've recorded the session and I'll upload it uh, instantly. And then I'll send you guys the link for those that always need reference and for those that didn't manage to get into the session. So yeah, sleep well, guys.
Thank you.
Sharp trader,
Right.
Evan. Thank
Thank
you
you.
much.
Okay, thanks, boss.
All right, guys.
Sure. Thank
We
you.
chat in the group.